Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Breedlove with the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and I'm excited to bring to you this special announcement about the Rural Recovery Rally, which will take place at the Georgia National Fairgrounds in Perry, Georgia on Saturday, January 22nd at 1 p.m. And we've got an all-star lineup of recovery leaders from across Georgia to share with you today some of the exciting news about this great, powerful, positive recovery event. We're going to start with, she's a national recovery leader who lives in Georgia. She's the executive director of the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse. She's my boss too, Nel Campbell. Nel, thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, everybody. It's so good to see all you wonderful people from out there in the hinterlands of Georgia. I just wanted to come on and just say I am so proud of you for doing what you're doing for rural Georgians. We know that this last couple of years has been pretty tough on all of us, but I think nowhere has it been felt more than in our rural communities where isolation can be just overwhelming. And you guys reaching out to have this recovery rally in January just makes my heart just expand. I love it so much. It's going to be great. It's going to be an opportunity for us to all get together and celebrate life in rural communities in the way that you're doing the work, that communities have to be a part of the solution, and you're out there doing it, and you're leaders in your respective communities. And I just admire that so much. So thank you for letting us be part of it. We will do all we can to support it. And I just look so forward to January. I can't believe I'm saying that, but at least it's in South Georgia. So it might be a little bit warmer, but we're going to have a great time. We're going to celebrate. We're going to lift up all recovery voices and let everybody know in all your communities and across Georgia that recovery is real and that we are here. And the more we speak up and have a voice, that we know that people can get better, then recovery becomes the expectation instead of something that we're just afraid of. So here we go. I'm so excited. This is the official kickoff. I'm proud of you guys. And Jeff, I'll turn it back to you.
Well, Nel, thank you. And I know I speak for the whole house and we say thank you for your leadership. You lead with love, and none of this would be happening without your leadership. So thank you, Nel Campbell.
Thank you.
And now we're going to hear from our great RCO leaders, and you'll hear different perspectives on the same event, and they'll tell you different things in their own words. But let me just remind you, this is going to be Saturday, January 22nd, the Rural Recovery Rally. It's in person at the Georgia National Fairgrounds in Perry, Georgia, starting at 1 p.m. You're going to want to get there a little bit early, park, get in, participate, network, and all that good stuff. And Michael Karns, we're going to bring up Michael Karns from Americus, Georgia with New Life. And look, big shout out to you, Michael, because this idea started with a conversation and a vision you had in Americus, Georgia. Michael, thanks for what you're doing.
Well, I want to thank you and Nel also for what you did, because none of us would be here without you guys. But yeah, so during September, during recovery month, and everybody was running all over the state doing speaking events and putting on events, Jeff came down to Americus, and him and I had a conversation, and he asked me a simple question like, this is great now, but what would you like to see in the future? And I said, well, we're right here, essentially located in middle of the state. The fairgrounds is right over there. I've talked to Marissa on the phone. I've talked to Catherine and Daniel at the Change Center, Dara and Teresa and Warner Robbins. I met with people from Oasis at an event, and I was like, it would be super awesome if we could all just get together and do one big event and let people know the needs of the rural community, because it's a little bit different here than it is up in the city, where they have all the support, population density, public transportation, all these things. But I don't think they understand the struggles we have down here in the rural part of the state, with the distance people have to travel just to catch an NA meeting, the things that have to happen for somebody to get into recovery, the lack of detox centers and treatment centers, that we have to send them away from their 2, 3, 4 hours, 5 hours away from their communities. And then every time there's anything recovery related, we got to drive to Atlanta, all of us, but nobody ever comes down here. So Jeff said, well, you think you can make it happen? And I was like, let's give it a shot. And I sent out an email and got a lot of good responses from it. We put together a committee, had a couple of Zoom calls, and bing, bang, boom. January 22nd, we're going to get together and we're going to live our recovery out loud. And we're going to let people know the needs of the rural recovery community here in Central and South Georgia, and hopefully change some people's minds and break some stigmas.
Michael, I love that. And that's the kind of recovery advocacy that we're talking about. Nothing about us without us. It's our voice that matters, and the peer voice is so important. And I want to say on Saturday, January 22nd in Perry, Georgia, at the Georgia National Fairgrounds, we're going to have elected officials. We're going to have local elected officials from these communities across South Georgia and Central Georgia. We're going to have local business leaders that support recovery, community leaders that support recovery. We're going to hear the voice of Central and South Georgia and all of our allies and friends and families and stakeholders on that stage. We're going to have our friends from Reboot Jackson talk to us about John and Jen about the rural Georgia Narcan for first responders legislative effort. So we're going to actually be doing real recovery advocacy from this stage for really across rural Georgia. And that'll be an amazing thing that we do. We're going to have the 16 ambassadors for the 2022 Georgia Recovers Billboard Project, which Governor Kemp and Commissioner Fitzgerald have put over $1 million into the recovery community for this project. They will be there. So it's going to be exciting. And now I want to go to Catherine Tootle from FTR in Statesboro, Georgia.
Hello, my name is Catherine Tootle, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. What that means is it's been 5 years I've had the need to use any mind or mood altering substances to change the way I feel. I am also the executive director at Freedom Through Recovery in Bullitt County, and we are just excited. We are excited to be a part of something bigger than us, just here in Statesboro and in Bullitt County. We're always running through these parts, but to be something that means so much more on a bigger scale blew my mind. I'm very grateful for the ones that have gone on before us to help show us the way of how to live this recovery out loud. We are going to be bringing our police chief, a community leader, and a person who is in long-term recovery who employs people in recovery. And they're all going to share their take on why recovery is so important in their lives and how it affects us here in Statesboro. And, I've learned through Nel, our community, they'll help us build, if we bring them in the process of helping create this community, then they'll help support us. And she has taught us that, and that is what I'm doing with our community. And it's going to be a proud moment when I get to see them on that stage advocating, using their voice for recovery in such a big way that will connect the whole state of Georgia. So we're just excited to give a voice to the voiceless and the faceless here in Bullitt County. We are going to be representing hard for Southeast Georgia.
I love it. Thank you, Catherine, for what y'all do every day in Bullitt County and Statesboro and Eagle Nation down there. It's wonderful. So we're excited. And now we're going to go to Tifton, to Vicki Bossi with Oasis. Vicki, welcome.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. I am so honored to be a part of this group and this awesome recovery family that we have here in Georgia. My name is Vicki Bose, and I am in long-term recovery. That means for me today, there is no desire to change my mood or my mind with any substance. So yes, we are super excited about this opportunity to draw attention to rural Georgia and the many folks that are in recovery in rural Georgia. As at Oasis, as part of the Oasis team, we take people to rehabs and we take people to detox, and many times that means traveling, at least an hour and many times more, because we don't have a lot of resources in this area. So it is an honor for me to be able to use my voice to speak up for places like us who don't have a lot of resources. I know that we don't have as big a population as the bigger cities, but we do have a crisis, and with the population that we have, and I believe that anybody can recover, and I believe that everybody should have the opportunity to be able to recover. And in order to do that, we have to have the resources to do that. So yeah, I am super excited to stand up on that stage and tell people about the awesome things that are happening in rural Georgia, and not only the awesome things that are happening, but the awesome things that could happen even more so if we had more resources and opportunities.
Vicki, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love Tifton. Was with my brother and sister-in-law last night who are from Tifton. It's a special place to me. And so we're so excited to have Oasis be a part of this. And now we're going to go over to Albany, to the Change Center, to Daniel Fleuren. Daniel, welcome, brother.
Thanks, Jeff. And I just want to reiterate what everybody's already said, that we're so appreciative of having this opportunity to pull this thing together and, show that even though we're in there's fewer of us and we're in a much larger area, we can stretch our hands across this largest part of the state of Georgia and bring it together. And I'm honored to be a part of this group in particular. There's not anybody on this call that I haven't reached out to try to help get someone to treatment, try to help get someone the services that they so desperately need. Albany being the metropolitan center of our area, we get stretched real thin. And being able to call on the folks that are on this call and across the state through this amazing RCO network that we have, it's just been amazing. It's impacted me directly with my own family. We just want to make sure that we make some noise down here in South Georgia and let them know that we are here. We need resources too. We are on the front lines of a vast geographic area, and getting people to and from and housing and all those things, still a very vital part of the recovery situation down here. We just want to let them know that recovery is real in South Georgia. And again, thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Well, thank you for what the Change Center means to the recovery community across Georgia. You said it, it's the metropolitan hub of really Southwest Georgia. And it's such a vital part of the community. We're going to go now to Warner Robins, to I Hope with Dara Greenwood. Dara, welcome.
Thank you. Oh, it's such a blessing to be here. Okay, so my name is Dara Greenwood. I'm a woman in long-term recovery. I'm the program manager here at I Hope Inc. and Warner Robins in Houston County, Georgia. And back in September, when I was down in Americus, I saw Jeff and Big Mike, Michael Karns, and he had mentioned something like that. And I said, yes, get in touch with I Hope. Yes. Call my boss. Yes. So when he explained it to me, it's a privilege to be able to do the work that I do with my peers. It is such a privilege. And to think that the majority of South Georgia, Central Georgia doesn't have access, doesn't have resources, don't have the things that they need to recover. I truly believe, that the opposite of addiction is connection. And the more connections we have, the more likely we are going to recover. And we are just privileged here at I Hope to be a part of this, and we are ready to come live our recovery out loud. Everyone here at I Hope knows that's where we're going to be on the 22nd. So we're privileged. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Georgia Council.
Thank you, Dara. And, I love all of our RCOs, but every time I go to I Hope and I see those vans with the hashtag GA recovers on them, oh, I just love those vans. They're the best.
We do recover.
We do. And Marissa Cody is not far away in beautiful Macon, Georgia, right there in the center of our great state. Marissa, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Jeff. And like everyone else said, I'm absolutely thrilled to have even been asked to be a part of this. We serve so many folks on a daily basis. Like some of us were saying, we're facing so many barriers. Just this morning, I had someone who came in without an ID and a social security card. And, you know, had they not been able to come in and receive our services, you know, would they have known where to go and, you know, how to navigate this system, which is sometimes just almost impossible to navigate. And so being able to raise our voices, you know, as folks in recovery, to let people know we're here, we're thriving, we are working, we're voting, you know, we're doing all of these great things, and we want to be able to have everything that we can absolutely have to build a life that we don't ever want to have to trade back in again, you know. And I always hear people talk about addiction doesn't discriminate, you know, and we want to let everyone know that recovery doesn't either, and that we all have this opportunity to get well and to stay well. And with these barriers, we're still doing the big things we're doing. Like, can you imagine how much bigger it's going to get by being able to lift our voices even higher and even louder here? So we're looking forward to January. Just a little tidbit, we're going to have Fincher's barbecue. So if you're in Macon, you know that Fincher's is a staple here. So that's just a little thing that's around the corner for those of you guys that love food as much as I do. But again, we're so thrilled and we're so grateful. And all of you recovery centers, like, I feel like I'm like standing on the shoulders of giants. So yeah, so thanks.
Marissa, thank you. And Macon recovers. I'm going to tell you what a wonderful place y'all have. And, you know, Fincher's is a staple. My wife is, grew up on Fincher's, and I've had it. Oh my gosh, what a blessing. Thank you, Fincher's barbecue. It's going to be a great day. We're also we don't have them with us today. They're doing work in their communities, but want to acknowledge our friends at Rise Up in Dublin, We Covery in Thomasville, and Charlie's Place in Vidalia are also part of this direct coalition, if you will. But there'll be RCOs from across Georgia coming down or over to whatever it may be to join us. And you're going to see a unified, peer-led recovery community representing every congressional district in the state, just showing the diversity of the Georgia recovery community. And the voices will be unified, speaking in unity, because we say that the community most impacted during COVID-19 has been the Georgia recovery community. We're sick and tired of CDC reports that say 100,000 people have died, but being told there's not enough money in the budget for serving our community. So we have programs that save lives. And we appreciate our congressional delegation. We appreciate Governor Kemp and our statewide officers. We appreciate the bipartisan support in the General Assembly with the Working Group on Addiction and Recovery. And we appreciate every mayor and county commissioner and city council member and police chief and sheriff and district attorney and school board member across the state that's lifting their offices up for recovery. But we have work left to do, and we're going to show every single elected official that the Georgia recovery community understands the issues, and we're going to show up and vote in November, and we're going to kick that off in January. So listen, here's what we got going on. This is the Rural Rally for Recovery on Saturday, January 22nd at the Georgia National Fairgrounds in Perry, Georgia. It's going to kick off our ARAD, Addiction Recovery Awareness Day celebration this year. And then on Monday, the 24th, there'll be a press conference in your state capitol at 10 a.m. with many of our state leaders to talk about recovery. And on the 25th, which is Tuesday at 9 a.m., we'll have a statewide virtual meeting for Addiction Recovery Awareness Day. I mean, that's a lot of recovery on, a 4-day period there with Sunday in between. And it's a blessing that we have the ability to unite like this. Thanks to each and every one of you. Michael, do you want to say anything as we depart? Thank you for your leadership and your vision.
I just want to say that it's from the time I took over as program director at New Life, one of the first people I called was Marissa, and was like, and did she just immediately was like, you got this, you're going to be fine, you're going to do this. I called Teresa, I spoke with Dara, I've spoken with Daniel, and it just, they lifted me up. So to be able to do this, I knew that if I called on these guys, they were going to show up, and they were going to show up hard. And it was a fact. I got to meet Catherine. She stepped up huge right off the bat. I met Vicky. Like, this has just been taken off. I've got, you know, RCOs and different organizations that want to come support and show up. So we just want to make this event substantial. Just let you know that we're going to show up, show out, and live our recovery out loud, so that others may have a chance. It's a little easier than what we had.
Michael, thank you. So everybody, let's sign off. You know what I always say, join me if you want to. Recovery is real.
Real.
We'll see everybody
Thanks, guys.
January 22nd.